They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. But at some point I grew up and I began to feel unsure. I kept on shining apples that had rotted to the core. Hey! Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody that falls anywhere else on that beautiful gender spectrum, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Live stream. I am, as always, your host, Chris Q. Murphy, and I'm excited to bring you this very special finale episode to Season 2. Oh my goodness, the finale episode? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. We've been doing this for a minute. I consider Season 2 to be like January to May. And with the exception of only a week or two, we've had magical guests on just about every week over here, and it's been wonderful. I've gotten to know some new friends. I've gotten to reconnect with old friends that I've not gotten to see for a minute because of various reasons. And overall, it's just been a blast. There's been a really great community of people out there that have been watching week to week. Some people just tuning in from time to time, and I love all those people, regardless of how many times they watch the show. If you're the first time watching tonight, congratulations. You found the spot to be on a Tuesday evening. We are excited to see you. I'm going to bring my special guest on in a couple of minutes, but I did want to just once again say thank you to anybody that has chosen to support the show, either monetarily or just by tuning in on the regular. I'm going to take a little break after this, regroup, finish booking Season 3, make some really awesome changes going forward so that when it's time to roll back around at the end of the summer, things will look and sound fantastic over here. Maybe we'll be in some new digs. Maybe it'll sound and look even classier. Who knows? But as is tradition, I start the show off with one or two of my own songs, and I'm going to do just that tonight. These are both songs that used to be my standard 1-2 punch of any set that I played anywhere at any time. If I like rolled up to an open mic or something and I wanted to be like, this is my thing, these songs are my 1-2 punch. And I've kind of drifted away from them as time has gone on. So I thought, since it's the last time that I'll be playing Chris Q. Murphy songs in public for a minute, I would go ahead and play these. So here we go. Nope, that's not even the right capo position, but that is. Woo! I found this old picture of me. I look just like myself, but younger, less round and more fire in my cheeks. A cup full of vim and hunger for only God knows what, but I gotta have it now. Because my youth was the time when I made up my mind, when I thought I had it figured out, when I didn't know shit but was so full of it that there wasn't any room for doubt. When I was young, I had it figured out. I wrote poems out of everyday speech. I sung each one flush with passion. I stitched a brass heart on the sleeve of the armor I had fashioned, of piss and vinegar, which I wore just like cologne. Because my youth was the time when I made up my mind, when I thought I had it figured out, when I didn't know shit but was so full of it that there wasn't any room for doubt. When I was young, I had it figured out. Woo! Ooh, it gets dreamy in the bridge. Pensive. But at some point I grew up. I began to feel unsure. I kept on shining apples that had rotted to the core. So rose-tinted rearview mirror, please replace my old reflection to where it blocks out the morning sun, because I'm blind in new direction. Block out the morning sun, I'd rather relive recollection. Block out the morning sun, block out the morning sun. Now I'm an old man in my eyes, but I'm still just a child of my mother's, and all my old victory cries have been echoed in tears of some other guy who also had that twinkle in his mind. Because my youth was a time when I made up my mind, when I thought I had it figured out, when I didn't know shit, but was so full of it that there wasn't any room for doubt. When I was young, I had it figured out, and I thought I had it figured out. Guess I'll never have it figured out. Woo! I remember the words. Congratulations to me. All right. I was also excited because I had a couple requests for this next one. Yes. It was nice for people to reach out and say that they wanted to hear this on the last show of the season. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you. Before I switch over into guest mode, I did want to let you know that in terms of my musical activity, while I won't be appearing weekly on the TLS show, I'm going to occasionally do the Instagram Live to play some of my own songs. And it is quickly becoming hot vax summer up here in New York City. Live music is happening, especially outdoors, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. My trio, The Coolest Ranch, has been playing regularly and continues to have dates scheduled well into July and August. We're playing every couple of weeks at some of the greatest bars and restaurants, open streets all around New York City. It's really fantastic. So if you want to know what that group is doing, you can go find The Coolest Ranch Band over at Facebook and at The Coolest Ranch Band on the old Instagram. We're playing, for those of you that are in New York and hanging out in Brooklyn, we're playing this Saturday over at Lizzie King's Parlor, out front, that is, on Fifth Avenue up by the Barclays Center in Park Slope. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, like, seriously, just tables on tables out in the street. People doing pretty good about keeping distanced. We're really excited to be able to play for you. But for those of you that come for the Chris Q. Murphy songs, this is it for a minute. Well, I'm just saying. Here's Afraid of the Dark. The werewolves are howling. The vampires are creeping. The men hunker down and the women start weeping. But the teenagers are all getting stoned in the park. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. Be it sickness benign or highly contagious, they laugh in the face of the things most find dangerous. They'll wrestle them gators and swim with the sharks. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. The summer sun just burns up the calendar's pages. But when the evening comes, just another day lost to the edges. You slow down to see it unfold and find out you're just getting old. Now we're humbled in horror of that terrible menace, stiff hushed in awe like a crowd watching tennis, while they laugh unaware of their youth's fading spark. They're not afraid of the dark. They're not afraid of the dark. Thank you, Internet. Thank you for the love on the Internet. Yes, I'm going to put this guitar down and transition into talk show host mode. Something that I didn't think I'd fall into. For those of you that haven't heard the story, I, like so many other songwriters, started doing this show a year and change ago because I knew I wasn't going to have any other performing opportunities for the foreseeable future. Once the dates got canceled and the shows and all the other hangs went away, I said, well, I can't just sit on my ass and not perform. I can't let my craft go to shit. So I decided to start live streaming like everybody else. And I took my phone out to my shed out back and I hung it up there and I played some songs. I did it on a Tuesday because none of my other friends had claimed Tuesday yet. All my other transitions had been Sundays, quarantunes, and Friday happy hour, and Wednesday. Nobody had Tuesday. So I was like, all right, Tuesday's going to be mine. And so I took it. Little did I know that I'd be sitting here well over a year later, having only missed, I think, a grand total of 5 Tuesdays since April of 2020. And here we are. After talking and playing for months, I thought it'd be fun to have somebody come on and be like a guest on my show at the beginning of August. And she came on, and Mel Johnston, wonderful friend-ish of mine. We had such a great time talking and hanging. And I got like 20 texts the next day that were like, oh my God, your show was so cool with your guest last night. And I was like, really? Does that mean that my songs are garbage? And they're like, no. We just like their songs too. And so I was like, well, I better get somebody else on next week. And I called another friend, and she came on and sang some of her songs, and we chatted. And then before I knew it, I had guests lined up all the way through November and then December. And then it was 2021. I was like, I guess I'm still doing this. And I booked people straight through until now. One of the things that I hope people have recognized, no, you know what, I'm not even going to say it out loud. If you recognized it, cool. If you didn't, then we all still got a lot of fucking work to do. But this isn't about all the guests. This is about tonight's guest, who is somebody that radiates pure magic. It's somebody who has that unique ability, not unique because unique means one, that rare ability to open her mouth and capture a room like that. I've only known a handful of them at all in my life. I know some really fantastic songwriters that write incredible songs and are very, very seasoned and great performers. But the ability to just open up your mouth or sit or stand like you're ready to go and have the entire room's energy zero in on you is something that I, to this point in my life, feel that can't be taught. And it always lends a magical quality to anybody that is already really good at their craft. I've seen people piss that gift away. Like, people love watching them and then they don't do shit with that. And that's fine. But when I watch people that are in my game, in the songwriting game, in the music game, take that and crystallize it, capitalize on it. I hate capitalism, but you know what I mean. And turn it into something. I can only sit back in awe. As a matter of fact, this is somebody that I watched play at Big City Folk Song Club a handful of times, and I was afraid to introduce myself or talk to her because she seemed like she was on another level. I don't just mean like career-wise or whatever, but I mean like she seemed like she was operating on the next level up. And I was like, I don't know if I can engage with that. So I kind of hung back, and then I rolled the dice when I was putting season 2 together. And I said, I wonder if I can get her on the show. And I was very thrilled when she agreed to come on. I was very thrilled that she was patient that last week didn't work out. And I'm glad that we were able to reschedule for this week. I hope that she can emit and transmit that same magic across the internet that she does when you're in a room with her. Here we have to talk about songs and play songs and have a grand old time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jackie Gage to the show. Jackie, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. You know,
your words were like so humbling, by the way. Just like listening to everything you're saying, and just I didn't recognize that music could be so transformative and so like leveling. So just thank you.
It's the only way I know how to look at music. I mean, I think it's why most of us started doing it. It's what I preach in my classroom to my kids all the day. Like, you can think about music all you want. You can break it down any way you're trained to, but at the end of the day, you surrendered to that magic because of the spell that only music can cast on human beings. You know, there's like a handful of things that we do that monkeys don't. You know, and like this is one of them. So we should totally like grab that and run with it. How are you doing?
I'm good. This whole time has been so interesting. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. You know, I feel New York is in a weird place right now. Because we do have a significant percentage of the population fully vaccinated, which is a nice feeling. It means that some people can go about doing some of the things that they did pre-pandemic. Of course, there's an air of caution because you don't know who's doing that for the right reasons and who's doing that just cause. But, you know, I've recently gotten to engage in live music again, both as a participate like an audience member and as a performer, and I had no idea just how important it was to me. Like I didn't know, so I'm excited about that. Now you recently have relocated. Is this true? I know you as a New York songwriter, but you're coming at us from where right now?
I'm in San Francisco now. I'm officially a Californian.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
What precipitated this move?
You know, it was my boyfriend. We had been dating long distance, and it was kind of cool how it all happened. I was on tour as the world was shutting down, and he's lived in California this whole time, and he was like, you should just come here. Numbers are really high in New York. Just fly over and come stay with me. I was like, okay. And so I did. And then I've been here with him ever since.
Nice. That's fantastic.
It's definitely, yeah, I've told him if he hadn't have said that, I would have just stubbornly been hunkered down in New York. Like, everything will be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll see you when I see you, you know, but yeah, I'm glad that this was the result of what ended up happening.
Yeah. I mean, hearing these pandemic silver linings always make me feel so good. I'm glad that this is one of the ones for you. I know that obviously you haven't been too out and about in the world, but has your perspective as a creative person or a writer at all changed since you've become a left coaster?
You know, yes, and it's both being here and because of the pandemic. I'm originally from California, and so coming back here felt familiar, but it's kind of like, what's that song? Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got.
Big Yellow Taxi.
and then like, I didn't realize how many things I had missed from home until I was home again. It was like, oh my gosh, I can see like the bridge, or I can take a walk over to this park, or whatever food, or, you know, or my family's nearby, or I can see my best friends. It was just all of these things. And then I didn't recognize this at the time, but I was so fearful for some reason about sharing my original music But the whole reason I moved to New York was to be a musician sharing my original music. So like meeting you and being a part of Big City Folk and some other places like that had helped me get over myself and this crazy mental barricade I had put up. So once I was here, it helped me like, take a moment and just pause and be like, what are you doing? And what do you actually want to do with yourself in this world? Because everything is paused. And if you don't figure this out now, then there won't be another time to figure this out. This is the moment.
True story. Yeah. I hope you figured something out or got a little closer anyway.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've been writing so much. I started this online fan club. I have plans to make an album. I am like becoming more confident in my songwriting and taking like songwriting lessons and playing guitar and just like all these things. So it's been really fun.
Nice. I want to talk about pretty much all of those things. But one thing struck me, you said you've been writing so much. That has been a recurring theme on this show since it's been a pandemic show, talking to songwriters about how this has affected their actual ability or process to create. And very few people have said, the same. Everybody's either, it's been feast or famine, as they say. Like people ain't written shit. Or like you said, I've written so many songs, and that's really incredible. So that's really great to hear. And I would have asked that question anyway.
Well, how has it been for you with writing? Like, I know a few others. Yeah.
At the beginning of the world shutting down, I didn't really write anything. I wrote like one hunkered down song that I have weird feelings about, and I truck out every once in a while, but I don't think is a great song. And then in the summer, out of pure guilt, I knew I wasn't in a place to create anything new. So I just kind of like went through the process of taking stuff off the wood pile and seeing what I can shape it into. Taking songs that were unfinished, taking things that needed to be edited, and kind of turning them into things. And I was kind of successful in cleaning things up, taking B- songs, rehearsing and editing them to the point where they could be A- songs.
Nice.
It wasn't until 2021 where I really put my foot on the gas and decided to participate in February album writing month. I don't know if you know about this challenge, but it's an online challenge in community where you're supposed to write an entire record in the month of February. You're supposed to write 14 songs, which I guess for full-time songwriters is a doable goal. I told myself I was going to write 7. I was going to write and demo 7 songs because I have 2 little kids and a full-time job and all that stuff. I wrote 6, and I'm pretty damn proud of 3 of them. Although I don't know that I don't know that I've written anything new since the end of February. So I should get back on that,
Well, hey, even writing 3 that you love, that's a huge accomplishment too.
Yeah, it feels good. And because there's been a handful of people that have watched from week to week, even though I generally only play 2 songs at the top of the show, it's been fun for people to kind of like be like, oh, I see you tweaked that one a little bit between last week and this. I like where it's going. Or people have been like, yeah, that song wasn't so good. You shouldn't keep that one around. And I'm like, good. You know better than I do.
It's nice getting a straight matter of fact opinion then from people. I feel like people don't usually say something like, hey, I don't like that. Okay, thanks.
I feel like friends don't say it enough, and people that we don't know say it too often. They don't say it with their words, but they say it with whether or not they try or decide to give your art or somebody else's art the time of day. So I like to get my friends to tell me when things are lousy in hopes that at some point the world can be a little kinder to creative people and give their stuff the space to hit them the way they need to be hit, just a thought. I don't know.
That's powerful.
Thanks. Now you've written a lot, which is great. has since you've been able to kind of so solidly focus on this one thing, has your process as a writer changed at all? Are you approaching writing differently than you did way back when?
So the initial process is the same, where usually something will just pop up in my mind, and then it's pretty fully formed in some part somewhere, and then I'll just try and flesh out what I was thinking of or what I want to say. But then recently, I started taking like some songwriting lessons and like have some more tools in my toolbox to really craft the song a little bit more and learn different techniques on like, changing this melody or repeating this word again or what kind of rhymes with that, and just like kind of dissecting things like what you're talking about, going from the B minus to the A minus, or just the place where it's like, okay, this feels good. Because before, I would just write the song and be like, I'm never touching it again. It's done. This is my song. Like,
Same.
No judgment zone. Here it is. But now it's like, oh, okay, wait a second. It's still mine, but I can just, feed it like lasagna tonight and see what happens. Or like, I'll feed it a pizza tonight. What happens now? And just kind of keep playing with it.
Yeah, it's funny because songs have become like commodities that are bought and sold and move through the public consciousness so quickly. Sometimes it's hard to allow them to have the life they need, and it's hard to let them be impermanent. Like if you think about songs as products, then you have to spit shine it until it is what it is, and never allow it the chance to change and grow into itself, which you can do in the sanctity of your own studio. Or, I've seen our friend Niall do it on stage over the years now, a handful of times. It's been one of the lessons he's inadvertently taught me, where he will shamelessly bring a half shit song and play it and just see how it feels. And then he'll come back and he'll do the same half shit song the next week, but he will have changed 3 words and, like you said, repeated this one more thing, to the point where I watched something that was this, like, change over time to reemerge as a totally different animal. And it's really incredible, and something that I've, I love to see him work it out on stage, because that's something I would have never dared to do before. Like, this is the song, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess that's one of the benefits of having a community of songwriters that you see weekly, that you can watch things happen like that. Mm-hmm. And that's been great for me. And since you wrote so much, are you now in the process of no, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Rather than talking about all these fucking songs, why don't you play us some songs?
Okay.
Because that's what we do. I'm going to make sure that I get some of your info up there on the screen. And when you perform, I'm going to get out of the way, because they don't need to see my face or hear my voice. The screen will be yours. But for the people just tuning in, I just want to say welcome to the Tuesday Night Live stream. I'm your host, Chris Q. Murphy. It's in reverse. So bad at it. This is our tonight's guest, Jackie Gage. She's going to sing a couple songs for us, and I'm going to get out of the way. Enjoy what she's bringing to the table. And away I go.
Ooh, thanks. Well, I know I had mentioned that I've been playing some more guitar during this time, so I'm going to share a couple of these new songs on guitar. Okay. I have a name that my mother gave to me. And I have a place standing in the shade of my family tree, 'cause I believe that time will give and time will take all of the memories of all of my days, but I'll remain in all the memories of you. I'm not afraid of the wind and the waves that will knock on me, 'cause I got the strength of my family to come and the family that came before me, 'cause I believe that time will give and time will take all of the memories of all of my days, but I'll remain in all the memories of you. Now I'm at an age where love's finally conquered all my pride, because no matter the reason, my heart seems to find you every time. And that's just fine, 'cause time will give and time will take all of the memories of all of my days. I'll remain in all of my summers and winters and falls. It's okay, I'll stay in the memory of you. That's a new song called Memories of You. And I'll do one more before Chris comes back. This is another new one. I was just reflecting on it's wild thinking that where we are in this world is solely based off, well, initially, where we're born, is solely based off our family, our mothers, fathers, or people who have brought us into this world. And from there, we can choose how to grow and who to become. So a similar message a little bit from that last one. But this is a song I wrote called The Valley. If you want to meet my father, he's a strong redwood tree standing in the shade of California, down, 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 down in the valley. And if you want to meet my mother, she's a wise magnolia tree standing in the shade of the orchard, down, 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 down in the valley. Oh, so take me down to the valley, take me down to the valley, 'cause my family waits for me. Down, 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 down in the valley. And if you want to meet my brother, he's a bright maple tree, and he's standing in the orchard, down, 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 down in the valley. Oh, so take me down to the valley, take me down to the valley, 'cause my family waits for me. Down, 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 down in the valley. So if if you ask anybody, if you ask to see me, I'll be in the shade of the orchard, down, 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 down in the valley. Oh, so take me down to the valley, take me down to the valley, 'cause my family waits for me. Down, 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 down in the valley. Down, 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 down in the valley. Down, 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 down in the valley.
We have some love coming at you in the comments here.
Oh.
Yeah, after earlier giving you a beautiful, all spelled out during the first song, Lydia comes back with I had said the song is magic because I want to talk about that in a minute, and she said, and seeping right into my soul with what such sweetness. And then we go, wow, wow, wow. Brava, brava, brava. So much love. Thank you, Lydia. It's so good to see people participating. Damn. Yeah, I was actually watching your California announcement video with Val earlier today. I was just watching some of your stuff, thinking about tonight. And I was so very taken. I almost had to like ask myself, is this a folk song? I don't know, because I know a lot of folk songs, and it's clearly not. But the fact that it would lead me in that direction, it's so direct and so beautiful, and I think it's such a trick to be that direct without being trite, and wow, like. You found that place in that song. It's just so special. Both of them were absolutely gorgeous, and you and the nylon string guitar, that's a thing. Like,
thanks.
You gotta. I have a nylon string that I love too, and I feel like I'm a different person when I play it. I don't know if that person is better or cooler or worse, but you and that nylon string guitar, there's a special thing that happens in your voice with that. It sounds so great. So I hope that's something you explore, and I hope that it's something that, as you get into the making of a record of these songs, that you choose to continue to like incorporate into the final product. Reserved and low key with immense power and delivery. Yes, said so well. I love it. I love it. So I was so excited a couple weeks ago when you told me that you're going to be working on an album of some of these new songs soon. Can you tell me a little bit about what the plans are for that? How you're choosing songs, if you're working with anybody on it or you're doing it independently. Please talk about that, because that's fun.
Yeah. So during this pandemic, after the initial few months of like, holy shit, like there's no music, what is my purpose in this world? And like the whole like sadness of like, what do I do? I really sat and was like, what are my dreams that I've been wanting to accomplish but keep saying some other time? So I really nailed down like, okay, I want to record an album that might be of interest to a major label. I want to write music with the songwriter Jessie Harris. I want to share this music with the world, and I want to be a better guitar player and all these like things, So I ended up reaching out to Jessie Harris about if he was interested in working together on a record. And
wait, just like that?
yeah, I mean,
What?
I was like super fangirling. He doesn't know this for like forever. I go to all of his shows, all his Cosmo shows, and like his shows, just like all of them at the Sultan Room or at Hippie Five Bar or just everywhere. Mesro. I was just like, I love his music. I wanna do something like that with him. And I had a friend who had done a record with him a few years ago, and she was kind of the one who showed me like, ask, you know, it was like, because she did it, and just watching her example. Her name is Ren Giesek, and she has this gorgeous album, self-titled, and
Looking it up now.
it's so good. And Ren is Ren, but she has a beautiful bird on the front cover of her album. But they worked on the record together, and I finally was like, okay, Ren, I want to ask him. And she's like, okay, do it. She was like encouraging me, just do it. So I did, and he said that he was interested.
I think we're playing a little bit of songwriter inside baseball, because Jesse Harris himself isn't necessarily a household name for non-songwriter types, but some of the things that he has worked on and people that he has worked with as a writer and a producer are absolutely household names.
Yeah.
You want to give some examples? I mean, the first one that I think comes to everybody's mind is
Norah Jones, Don't Know Why. It's like the first song everyone thinks of when they think of him.
Yeah, like wrote songs for and with Norah Jones, and was a big part of that first record, which I was doing Norah Jones actually with my kids at school today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's AAPI Heritage Month, and we're trying to see what that looks like, because so often people immediately just think it's all people just of like far East Asia. You know, we don't see the whole thing, and you know, also cultural representation can look a lot of different ways. So I was like, Norah Jones, here we go. And in prepping for the lesson, I was reminded just not how much that I like her in general, but like for that to be your debut record.
Right? Yeah.
Holy shit.
And like some of her songs from her demo made the cut on the album. So
I know. Like how is that your first album? Like, that's not cool, girl. Stop that. Because it's so good. Like the players are just sick. You know, that's the album that introduced me and the subsequent tour to Adam Levy, who's one of my favorite guitar players in the world. But Jesse Harris, you said, so what else has Jesse Harris done? Let the people know.
Oh man, I mean, recently he's written with Maya Hawke and Gabby Hartman. He actually is working on or released an album with Maya Hawke that's out and available now. Gabby Hartman covered his song "Always Seems to Get Things Wrong." Always Seem to Get Things Wrong. He's written or recorded with like even Melody Gardot recently on her new record, Sunset in the Blue. Liz Wright. There's others. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden blanking. Melody Gardot, I said, Madeline Prue. A lot of people. There's more than that. He's written with like Japanese or like songs that Japanese artists have covered, and like he's writing right now and recording with a Brazilian artist, and he's just a lot of awesome things are coming up and have already taken place as well.
Yeah. So it's so songwriters that are watching tonight, like she just reached out to the dude and was like, hey, would you want to work on something with me? And he said, yeah. So like, you're gonna get a dream fulfilled because she had the courage to ask. That's awesome.
It really took my friend to like be like, it's fine. I think he knows you. Ask him. And then as it turns out, he knew who I was already too, which was like, what? How? And I think that kind of helped with him believing that I really like want to do this. So I'm just thankful. I'm super excited.
Yeah. And when does that, like, when do you actually start working on that? Or have you already? Or
We've done a lot of the pre-production. We're just finalizing some of the arrangement ideas right now. We're going to go into the studio in a couple of weeks, mid-May, May 6th, 17th, we start.
Nice. That's so exciting. That's next week. Oh my God.
No!
That's so cool.
Like, we were trying to do it in January, but there's a pandemic raging and you don't want to die. And that's important.
You don't want to die.
No dying allowed in the studio.
So awesome. I'm so excited for you. Are those last two songs to be on the record?
One of them is I'm not sure about The Valley yet, which is the one that you actually said you liked the most. So now it's making me think, like, I wonder, maybe that should be on the record instead of another song.
Make it the secret track, just you and the nylon string.
Well, okay. Can I play you something that no one's actually heard before?
Well, I mean, you're not just playing it for me, but yes.
Oh, that's true. Oh.
No, I mean, if you want to keep it secret, you can send it to me back channel after the show's over, because you'd be showing it to a handful of people right now. So
that's true. It's probably not the best idea to be like, no one's ever heard this. Yeah. Okay.
But all right, I'm just going to ask you nicely to please send me like a voice memo version of you playing The Valley, or I'll be forced to use the YouTube to MP3 converter so I can listen to that one, because it's just so good. Oh, nice.
Thanks.
And those are both songs that you've written in the last year?
Yeah, like in the last few months, really.
Those two? Oh. So, like, you said before that in terms of process, it's about starting with that smidge of a fully formed idea, like a kernel of something you want to get to. Can you talk a little bit about what that kernel was for either one of the songs you just played, and kind of what steps you took it through? I mean, this is really boring sausages made stuff for like people that don't care about songwriting, but like that's what we do here. So please, let's hear about it.
Well, if I think about The Valley, that song had to ruminate for a couple months, because if I look back at like the past iterations of what it was before, I kept playing with the words because they weren't sitting in a way that felt good in the song. So like even something like down, 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 down in the valley wasn't there initially. I think that kind of similar to what you were talking about with Niall, I performed that song on a Facebook Live just to see how it felt. And I was just playing it on piano then. I think I was just, I think I just sang, take me down to the valley, down to the valley, down to the valley, where I belong. It's down in the valley, down in the valley, down in the valley. So that was the original. And I kept singing, take me down to the valley, to the valley, something words, I don't remember, down to the valley, like, so that was, I didn't even have any other words, but just this idea of the valley just kind of kept having to be thrown around until I could think about, like, what do I actually want to say? And then I was playing with, like, well, it's thinking of my family. Well, should I liken them to something? Or maybe it's about a journey. We'll put a train in it, but we only rode one train around the Bay Area, you know, and kind of thinking, like, well, what actually reflects on my life that I could share that's meaningful versus just trying to throw words in that might sound good, but not feel right. So, yeah, it started from that piano. Take me down to the valley over and over and over again.
Yeah, it sounds like a hymn.
Wow.
It's seriously, it sounds like a hymn, like a 19th century Protestant hymn when you do it on the piano.
Oh.
But just as a lyricist, one of the things that really jumped out at me as I heard you do that is I was like, okay, well, you said down to the valley too many times now. But in the final, remember nothing's permanent version, you just ride that word down to the valley. And that is something I love and that I would never do.
Why not?
Because I don't know why. It's like one of those hang-ups where I don't repeat things enough. Like, I write too many words. I'm a white guy from New Jersey. There's like Springsteen in my blood, whether I want it or not. Like, I can't not do it. So it's like just rapid fire, as many words as I can get out there. And then the idea of repeating a word, I think somewhere deep inside me feels like a wasted space. But as I listen to you do something like that, like every time you say down, it means something more. Every time you say down, it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey. And it's pretty incredible, when we think about the magic of music and songwriting, that just by choosing to repeat one syllable word, that you can totally flip the entire like movement of a line. And it's really impressive how you found that, whether it was by hardcore craft or just feeling it out. Like, you found the magic spot. So
Thanks.
When did you make the jump from piano to guitar? Did that happen like cause and effect wise? Did it get changed because it went to the guitar? Or did it start changing and you were like, oh, this will be good on the guitar?
I always heard it on the guitar in my mind. And truthfully, I hear a lot of my songs on guitar. I just don't have the dexterity or the musicianship yet to play them. So I find myself then making piano lines that have guitar feels to them. So for this song, and even when I was trying to figure out where to put it, of course, the first thing I do is play an A chord because I'm like, it's an A. But I remember like trying to go through it, like, just the usual kind of strumming thing. But I was like, this sounds a little too hokey. And I don't know if hokey was even the word in my mind. It was like, this doesn't sound interesting. So then I kept trying to play with like different like ways to play the bass, and then I eventually started to just do this instead, because I love the way it sounds. This whole like flamenco thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
That's kind of how it
and it's funny. I think that when we lean on either musical or lyrical tropes like that, when we use them the right way, it can really only, at this point, oh God, I'm going to go off this edge. Matt, don't kill me. At this point in like deconstructionist postmodern time, like no matter what you're doing, you're signifying on something. And like by choosing to play that kind of like quasi-generic flamenco rhythm on the nylon string guitar, you're automatically giving your listener an indication of place. So it's like, and maybe that gave you an indication of place. I don't know, that like allowed the song to morph into what it was. And it's cool. I love it.
Thanks. And it's like so many cities in California have Spanish names, either because of the land like this was like Mexico's land originally, but even then, like, Spanish also like coming over and taking over, and just like back in like looking at these history logs of, where this land is, or like this is Ohlone land technically too, because they had it beforehand. So it's just like all these things, but just like kind of having this opportunity to pay homage to, San Jose, Santa Clara, like San Francisco, like these are names that were found by certain people from certain places. So it was nice to share that kind of in the music. So that's really neat that you thought that.
Oh, we have the Dr. Ucia vote of approval here.
Oh man.
Our in-house English professor, my dear friend, one of my oldest friends in the world, Dr. Matt Ucia, is an English professor at Duquesne, and just got another submission published in a poetry anthology because he's a ninja. But Matt is my barometer for whether or not I've jumped too far off the philosophy cliff when talking about songwriting. He says we are in a post-human postmodernism at this point, so we're good. Thank you, Matt. I feel better knowing that. And thank you for your input as always. Yeah, wow. Seriously, I need Valley to listen to often. You know, it's really, really special. And yeah, keep messing. Like, I don't know what you're looking for in terms of facility on the guitar. It sounds like you're doing fine. It sounds good to me. Like, you know, you're a piano player by trade?
I started like really taking piano lessons a few years ago. And I've always just kind of gravitated to it as a kid because we had it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So just because of that, it like mentally it feels more comfortable, but then because of that, it feels very rigid as well. So when I touch a guitar, it feels like freedom.
I feel that. I feel that way about other art forms that I dabble in. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like I've studied music so seriously for so long that it's impossible for it to be free. But then when you step in, yeah, there's a freedom in discomfort. I like that. Can you play more songs for us?
Yeah, sure.
New ones, old ones, piano ones, guitar ones, anything you know.
Yeah, there is. Oops, as I'm already touching the piano. Yeah, I mean, one of the songs that you heard, it's also changed in the midst of the pandemic, and the words have changed.
Okay.
It's changed to "Supposed to Do."
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Well, let me get out of the way. People that are checking in, like I always, let me do the call letters or whatever. It's a Tuesday night live stream here with Chris Q. Murphy and our special guest, Jackie Gage. I'm going to jump out of the way, and she's going to play some more fantastic songs for us. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Take it away, Jackie. Do your thing.
Right. This is "Supposed to Do." this all behind. Then when I fall asleep, you won't be all mine. But darling, if you're still awake, there's one more thing to say. Having nice clothes. Oh, having nice clothes. Tell me, what would you do? Yeah, that's supposed to do. And this next song is a brand new song that's gonna be on the album too. It's called San Francisco Dream. You say you left your heart in San Francisco. New City Hall, the table calls and all the people. Where you would walk to the pier, see the seagulls and seas, and I could see why you'd be happy. You dream all day and night of San Francisco. But then the fog in the morning called. It doesn't have to be a fantasy if I choose to believe. Oh, what you think is impossible is only what you've seen before, and anything is possible. Well, if your heart says go to San Francisco, all your worries have been bubble wrapped. The lights are twice as bright on the Golden Gate tonight as it moves almost home. What you think is impossible, it's only what you never see. your dreams.
Woo! Don't move away from that piano. Let's talk about that ending, which you also used at the end of the bridge. Those changes are kind of like out of the blue. Tell me about those. Are they just that's how you want it to go, or was there a conscious decision to do something like that there, or is it representative of something? I gotta know.
Oh, it was a mix of two things. One is around that time, my teacher was showing me like all these different grips for like, these beautiful major 9 chords.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to like bring that feeling of wonder.
Ah, perfect.
And I thought that would be beautiful because it's like ascending.
Yeah.
And it felt like fairy dust to me.
Nice. Yeah, when that major 9 chord, like moving up by minor thirds, it's exactly fairy dust. That is like that's the way that people have done fairy dust in like classical music forever too. That's awesome. I love it. So good. Then since I'm glad you're thinking about this symbolically, so I'm not chasing the wrong tree. The kind of banging away pedal point.
Yeah.
Is that representative of something, or are you imagining that being an arrangement element in the album? Tell me about that note.
This.
Yeah.
I was imagining it being like the cable cars when they're driving by. It's like the ding ding ding.
Yes.
Ding, and I wanted to capture that in the song.
That's a gorgeous song.
Thanks.
Gorgeous. I mean, so good. I can't wait to hear that one all fleshed out. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really awesome. Oh my goodness. So you're working on this album, going to the studio very soon. It's so exciting. I imagine probably be out sometime next year-ish, maybe the end of this year. Do you guys have are you looking for the label interest to put it out for you?
I do. I've been speaking with a couple A&R reps for the sake of pitching it. So like I want to do this, I'm excited about what can come. So I don't know when it will come out, but I know that I believe in all of these songs and then nothing feels second guessed and everything is very intentional. And I love that.
Yeah. It is so incredibly refreshing to hear somebody say, I want to do this. Having spent my entire life like hanging around actual punk scenes or the punk version of other scenes. And there's a very big part of me that is that person. To hear somebody say, I want to do this, I want for a major label to put this out for me. I love that. I love that you are saying that out loud. And I think that there might be some magic. People that don't like new agey shit are going to turn the show off now. I think that like you can will that into being if you say it enough times. And I love that you're just saying it out loud, because so many people don't want to recognize that there is legitimate art being made within the major label system. Not that it's doesn't have its problems. And also like artists don't want to say that they're looking for somebody to do something for them. And I love that you're just like, I want somebody to fucking put this record out for me. That's great.
Thanks. I just recognize that so many of these systems, and I understand fully that we're in this space now where as artists we can stay fully independent and release our music. And that's incredible, keeping our masters, making our own tours, hiring the publicity agents that we want. Publicity agents. Sounds like a superhero. Publicity agent. Like all the publicists, and we have all these tools at our fingertips now. But I'm also realizing too that in the space I really want to learn how to navigate in, I struggle with better understanding the best ways to go about it. And I recognize that a lot of these larger institutions already have these systems in place to get music out in a way that I just possibly can't fathom on my own. Like I have dreams of like, touring Japan or something, or like going to France and Nice jazz festivals and stuff like that. And I don't know how to do that. And if that means that perhaps a baby like this can be given away to someone who knows what to do with it, then I'm happy about that because I can make another baby. And I'm a baby making machine when it comes to the music.
That's really incredible. That is a perspective that I can't think of the last songwriter that just said it like that. Because as somebody that both, like, because he's lazy and because he's snobbish, has never reached for that brass ring, as they say. I know that there are a million people out there that already know how to do the shit that I'm lousy at.
Oh.
And I'm excited that, like, and I'm not saying you're lousy at promotions or whatever, but I look forward to the part of your journey when you can just write fucking songs and sing them and not have somebody else to fucking handle your social media. Have somebody else like worry about how people are going to know what you're doing so you can just fucking do it. And that's, I'm excited for you taking that journey. And I look forward to seeing how it turns out. But to be clear, you already have music out there in the world. And I want people to know about that. Like it's not like you get off the show tonight and everybody has to wait until some label picks you up and puts your shit out. Like you can go to jackiegage.bandcamp.com and you can find her stuff there. And more money is going to go directly in her pocket that way. But if you're a hardcore streaming person, well, then you can go ahead and find her stuff at the other places where you search for music just by searching Jackie Gage. And if you put the @ symbol in front of it, you know what that means, folks. You should be following everywhere she goes because I think she is on quite the journey and I want you to be able to see that. And of course, jackiegage.com is kind of the one-stop shop for all of this stuff. But let's go back to that handle for a minute because here we are on the Bookface and on the YouTube. I think we're on the Twitch too. So hey ho to all my gamers out there. It's just, it comes with the package.
That's awesome.
Yeah, here I am. I have one Twitch follower. Nice. Twitch follower. It is my 12-year-old nephew.
Oh. I'll be your second follower. I'll follow you.
All right, cool. You're the only person I know on Twitch aside from my nephew Owen, who doesn't actually stream. He just follows. Anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, for those of you that are here tonight because you are a friend or fan of Jackie's and it's your first time seeing me, go ahead and give me a follow. I do these shows every Tuesday. Well, not for the next couple months, but then it'll happen again. For those of you that are here because you watch my show and you've never seen Jackie before, well, you know what to do. Make sure that you go and you give her that follow. You check out her music on Bandcamp and everywhere else that you listen to music. And you hit up jackiegage.com so you can also make sure that you see the official word as this new album comes to fruition and hopefully gets snapped up by somebody and put in all of our ears or injected as part of the microchip we get for our COVID booster next spring, however we get the music. Aside from the musical gems you dropped on us, is there anything else you want the world to know before we skedaddle tonight?
Yeah, the last thing I can think of is during this time, I've started writing like custom songs for people. So that's been really fun. And I encourage all my songwriter friends to do it. I mean, it's so wonderfully both therapeutic and incredible knowing how music can touch people's lives. But if anyone has any interest in that, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to share more and see if I can write something for you, the enjoyer, the watcher, the person who cares about music like this.
I'm going to text you later because I just want to know how to get into that bag.
Yeah, sure.
I would love to do that. That sounds like the best way to get myself really working regularly. So would their best be moved to follow you on the socials if they're interested in having you write a custom song, or is there a better place they could go for that?
Yeah, I mean, I have this, if you're on my Instagram, if you go to my links, it's one of the first buttons. It says custom song consultation. So it sounds very intense, but it's really just saying hello and getting to meet you and learning more about what your plans are for a song that you'd like, whether it be for like, your mom for Mother's Day or your anniversary coming up, or you have a podcast you need like a really cool intro for, and just all these fun little things.
Nice. I love that.
But they're big things. I said little things, but they're very big deals.
Well, let me bring this up now so we all know what we're looking at. Because through the magic of technicity, I should be able to, there we go. I can share that with everybody right now. That's right. If you go and we make sure that you're following Jackie over at Jackie Gage on Instagram, you can see, like she said, she's got this guy right here. Where'd it go? It's around here somewhere. There we go. Check this out. Here's her. You go to links, and all right. Oh, look at that. Book custom song consultation. That's awesome. And you didn't. Oh, hey, look at me. I made it. Yes, I definitely think people should watch the new video for the Valley because I love it. You didn't talk about the garden at all. Your Patreon.
Oh, I didn't.
Stuff every week. We didn't get there. I think that people just have to make sure that they're following you because there's things that we didn't get to tonight because we were busy, talking about other things.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff to talk about. So
yeah,
some other time.
Yeah, you're coming back next season is what it comes down to.
Thanks. It would be my pleasure.
Yeah, it would be great. Format's going to change up. Hopefully more songs, more guests. It should be fantastic.
Nice.
As for right now, ladies and germs, it's about that time. We're going to roll out of here. I hope that you had a great time tonight. Thank you for those of you who have been regular attendees at the show this season. I'm signing off for now. Maybe you'll see me on Instagram or something, but otherwise I should be back some point in August with the first show of season 3. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Take care of the people all around the world the way you'd want to be taken care of. And let's just go ahead and hit the road. Have a great week, everybody. Go something like this.